AudioStack.
Welcome to AudioStack's Parrot podcast, the AI podcast from AudioStack, the world's leading infrastructure solution for fully automated, scalable AI audio production. I am Katharina Zeschke, an independent audio expert and consultant for audio marketing and new audio, and as well the author of the AudioStack white paper, AI in the Audio Industry. And that's exactly what this podcast is all about. We provide in-depth information about the use of artificial intelligence in the audio industry. We have invited some interesting interview partners, and AudioStack wouldn't be a provider of fully automated AI productions if this podcast wasn't produced with AI. So even though you're listening to me, Katharina Zeschke, we produced this podcast with my voice clone. But now have fun. Today we're delving into a fascinating topic in the audio industry, voice cloning. But what exactly does that mean? Voice cloning is an impressive technology that makes it possible to create an almost identical digital copy of a human voice. With the help of artificial intelligence and machine learning, a voice can be reproduced so precisely that it is almost indistinguishable from the original voice. Imagine if you could clone your own voice. With various AI tools, such as 11 Labs or Resemble, the process is quick and easy. Just a short recording of your voice is enough to create a model that can realistically reproduce your words. You can modulate the voice like an instrument to adjust the speed and style and have text spoken in different languages. Voice cloning has also found its way into the advertising industry. Large audio companies use AudioStack's AI audio interfaces to integrate customized cloning functionalities into their systems. One example of the use of voice clones in the media industry is the Absolute Radio AI program, which we reported on in more detail in the episode How AI Creates Entire Radio Programs. Absolute Radio AI is hosted by a cloned voice. This technology makes it possible to produce content in different languages and broadcast it worldwide, making the listening experience more authentic and emotional. In retail, voice cloning can help to create a consistent brand image. A brand-specific voice can be used via audio systems or interactive terminals to communicate individual messages and offers that strengthen customer loyalty. Voice cloning is also used in the film industry. A well-known example is the movie Top Gun: Maverick. Val Kilmer, who had lost his voice due to an illness, was able to act in the film thanks to voice cloning. Voice cloning is also causing a stir in the music industry. The song Heart on My Sleeve, supposedly sung by Drake and The Weeknd, was actually created by an artist who cloned their voices using AI. Such technologies open up new forms of fan fiction, but also raise legal questions. Voice cloning is a revolutionary technology with many possible applications. Today I'm talking to Timo Mauter about precisely this topic. Timo is an entrepreneur, enabler, online audio specialist, and, as he says himself, in love with tech. He is co-founder and CEO of UPLINK Digital. The company operates a leading platform for audio streaming and develops innovative digital solutions for the audio market of the future, including mobile listening experiences, smart players, and modular backend systems for radio and podcast streaming. Timo, I'm happy to have you on our Parrot podcast today.
Many thanks, Katharina. Thank you for the invitation.
You not only operate a platform for audio streaming, but are also developing a smart AI solution for radio stations. Would you like to tell us more about this? What kind of solution is it?
Over the last 2 years, we have, of course, looked at many AI solutions for radio stations and have also been approached time and again by other streaming customers asking whether we would like to develop our own AI solutions and then integrate them into our platform. It was clear from the outset that we would look into this and that artificial intelligence would sooner or later be at the heart of all modern software and therefore also of our solution. The question was rather, how do we actually combine the ingenious possibilities in Key with the requirements and needs of all protagonists and a modern media and radio company? On the one hand, there are the mostly innovation-driven, experimental people, yes, often directly at the business leadership or management level. Naturally, there is always a certain intrinsic motivation to adapt new technologies and transform the company. But on the other hand, there are also people in the newsroom or at the microphone who are often critical of AI technologies, and usually rightly so, because where technologies change or new technologies are established, the working environments and tasks naturally change too. Another aspect was that I personally believe that all these realistic AI results in words, sound, or now also video will probably no longer blow us away in the future as they do today. I think we will very quickly get used to AI content generating voices or other media that are indistinguishable from the output of real people. That's why this can't really be the only USB of our software. And that's why we designed Modcast AI from the outset in such a way that everyone at the radio station is positively drawn to this technology. We achieve this above all by protecting the rights of those who make their voice available in the form of a clone via the software, and giving them a tool that allows them to track exactly what was produced with their asset, i.e. their cloned voice, and what the further course of this element was, i.e. a kind of lifetime history of the audio element created. This also includes other processes such as the software-controlled editorial review of the content, or that the voice donor, i.e. the person who has their voice cloned, also provides the radio station with limited contingents of their own wolf clones.
How should I imagine this exactly? Does each voice actor then only have 5 tracks a day free, for example?
For example, yes. So in practice, of course, usually a little more. We tend to calculate on a monthly basis, meaning that a voice actor can be granted quotas that are either renewed monthly or are only valid for 1 month if the voice actor is on vacation for a longer period of time, for example.
You deliberately work with approval processes such as the 4 eyes or ears principle, watermarks, and timestamps. Doesn't this make content creation too slow for radio stations? What experiences have you had so far?
So, technically speaking, it takes an average of 30 seconds to create an element in modcast.ai, for example, from selecting the content module I want now, weather, traffic or opener and so on, to transferring the finished element to the radio playout. So that's very fast. Of course, we always use the latest, fastest models and have already been able to make very good optimizations during development. Of course, there is also the time it takes for another person to check and approve the content. How long this takes and how much time it takes always depends heavily on how the radio station integrates this process into its workflows. If you only want to produce with one person in the newsroom at night, you can of course limit the 4-ear principle. Of course, every step is still logged in the background so that this process is transparent and can be traced in the software at any time. I believe that the clean, ethically well thought out solution will offer more added value in the long term than full AI automation, where a single actor may fall by the wayside.
And how do the voice actors deal with it? Is it well received by them?
So it's being well received. And we even see the wider world in such a way that we actually need to expand the feedback from the radio and broadcasting sector, and that this is actually also a solution for completely different media, including politicians, who also need to pay attention to what happens to the potential voice clones, and if there are also official voice clones, whose use must of course also be clearly monitored and recorded. In the future, we are working on turning the whole thing into a kind of marketplace and enabling professional speakers to develop new business models. I'm already seeing and hearing requests from one place or another. We could really do with a professional speaker who can speak traffic. We have one somewhere at our local radio station, but we don't have one in the provinces or not on realistic terms. And a marketplace that offers a professional traffic announcer from Berlin the opportunity to also serve customers at the other end of the country, or perhaps in Austria or Switzerland, or perhaps with AI support in the future, with translations abroad. We don't know where the journey will take us. I think that will open up completely different possibilities for both voice artists and radio stations in the future. So this demand is there, and I hear that people would very much like our platform to develop in this direction in the future, i.e. to become a marketplace. In terms of organization, Modcast.ai is not only available digitally for UPLINK's streaming customers, even if a lot of things run in the background via our systems, but is also available in principle as third-party software for external customers and clients. This will make it available to a broader target group than just the customers who currently stream via our platform.
These are really exciting developments. What do you think is the biggest challenge in voice cloning?
Emotionality and the right emphasis is of course always a certain challenge, but we all know that incredible leaps have been made in this area in recent months. At the end of the day, it always depends on the training material. If I'm training with a bunch of easy texts and want to produce a realistic and emotional weather presentation at the end, then of course I won't achieve an optimal result. A good result, but not an optimal one. If I know exactly how the training material should sound, then of course it will sound completely different. And when onboarding our customers, we attach great importance to ensuring that we either receive the appropriate materials or have them produced specifically for the training of the models.
Emotionally charged is a good keyword. What do you think of the new GPT-4o version? What does this development mean for the integration of emotionality and tonality in text-to-speech for you?
The release of the Omni model was definitely another milestone for us. But that has less to do with feeling and expressing emotions better. We already had that under control in the days of GPT 3.5 with very sophisticated and individual prompts. It's much more the quality combined with the speed of the new model and above all the lower number of tokens required in the background to generate the results, which is much more efficient overall and, in my opinion, already points the way to what we can expect from future models.
This model makes it possible for me to talk to the model in real time. Do we still need voice clones because of this development, or will synthetic voices be sufficient in the radio of the future?
As always, it's a question of faith. It's always a question of which industry you're in. We are in the radio industry, and I find the experiments and practical examples with purely synthetic voices on the radio exciting, but I don't actually believe that this will solve the challenges facing the radio industry. The point is that radio needs to become more content-oriented and authentic again, at least for some target listener groups. Music-only stations already have a hard time in direct competition with Spotify and the like. The full programs, which have now been thinned out on the fringes and at night, can now offer services again with the help of AI, or extend this to their web-only programs during the day. So we are clearly relying on the voices of well-known presenters here, because I believe that personalities are simply part of radio. We can probably both remember 3 years ago when these radio apps were totally hyped, where you were woken up in the morning with the voice of the morning show crew, so you could generate your own individual wake-up sound with your name and so on. Whereas now I don't know whether the fictitious AI voices that are now in use have really been able to build up a fan base. That's why we're now clearly going down the path of using clone voices and simply using them when the real voice is currently unavailable, i.e. asleep or on a well-deserved vacation. Of course, always with the transparent indication that it's a cloned voice, but our customers are already handling it very responsibly.
Thank you very much for the insights, Timo. Hopefully we'll see and hear from you again soon.
Many thanks, Katarina. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or suggestions, drop us a line at audiostack.ai or leave a comment. You can listen to us wherever podcasts are available or directly at audiostack.ai. See you soon.